for you, you've made mistakes and you're trying to continue to live that American dream with this amazing opportunity, like you said. The question I kind of come back to is, what have you learned about that, about your mistakes, but also as well, if Amazon is watching this, what can they learn from your experience and how can they improve for other sellers who want to live the dream? Because this is an amazing platform.
It's not just me who lives in fear of account shutdowns. I think I definitely lived in more fear than most Amazon sellers because I knew of my past history with account shutdowns and I knew there was a chance they would link to me. But a big lesson is like, do everything by the book. Like if you see someone, I used to laugh at people who are like, don't log into someone's Wi-Fi. Be paranoid. The paranoid survive is a phrase. You know, at the end of the day, like if I had $250,000 in inventory at Amazon that I'm luckily letting me remove it. Only, I think it's like 7,000 in removal fees. So luckily I can get that back. But every Amazon seller at scale, like once they're doing hundreds of thousands a month and they have all their capital invested in inventory, they're like, what if it just gets shut down? So I just do everything by the book, you know, and then on top of that, like be paranoid, like don't give people user permissions. Don't do what I did and, you know, finagle the system with like multiple accounts, which is essentially what I was kind of doing with restricted inventory. But at the end of the day, like I wasn't intentionally like selling counterfeit products. Like if I was doing that, I would say, fine, shut me down forever. But all I was doing was using accounts that were approved to sell certain categories. And I was leveraging those people's accounts to sell them. You know, look at Amazon terms of service, study it well, and be paranoid, you know? And I used to not say that. Like I've definitely changed my opinion on that.
I think it's, as entrepreneurs, we're inherently optimistic. We have to be, because if you were being realistic, you should not build your business and you should get a job because statistically, majority of businesses fail. So you'd be better off not building a business.
I would also argue that very few people actually put 100% effort into those businesses. So like, even though like 9 out of 10 businesses don't make it past, what, 5 years, how much of those people actually tried?
It's probably the same. I'd probably say the similar amount of people don't put as much effort into their jobs.
Exactly.
Who we are.
But at least they get the guaranteed paycheck.
Agreed. So like as entrepreneurs, we're optimistic. And the one thing we're really bad at is managing for risk, like protecting against the negative. And you talked about earlier, like you have $250,000 worth of inventory. I know people with $250,000 worth of debt, which is the inventory, and their actual asset value is like $50,000.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe $7,000. So like they lose everything when they get suspended.
Yeah.
So, you know, I appreciate that. And I appreciate for you like sharing about being careful, don't log into other people's accounts. I think we talked about it in a private chat, like be very careful clicking links that people send you. These things have like tracking codes in them. Wi-Fi, people logging onto other people's computer, MAC addresses are so common, letting other people use your computer, don't do that.
That's a big one. Definitely never let anyone log in your device. That's a hard one to fight.
Yeah, because then it's like, how do you know who the person is? Agreed.
Yeah.
Also as well, I think the one thing you mentioned earlier on about used and new, I did some research about this on Amazon's terms of service or like their guidelines. And they talk about, they want to be able to prove the supply chain back to the manufacturer. Now, if you're doing like, it's not official, but if you're doing OA, they would assume that Walmart is buying legit products from the manufacturer. They're not selling fakes. So they'll be happy to get the supply chain down to Walmart, for example. So as long as you've got a Walmart invoice, you should be okay. I'm not saying you will, but you should. But if you're used, you have no supply chain trail from the number of used people. That's a big problem. Like, and I get your argument. I was like, that's a really good point.
Yeah, and so that law firm that represents the brand has the best argument. Like it is the lawyer's dream. It's the best case scenario if you're trying to kick people off Amazon listings, because how can you argue against a used IP complaint? You can't. But the new IP complaints, while they're scary, you're right. You can fight them if you have receipts going back to a legitimate source. And if you're scared of an IP complaint, you should always look up who IP'd you, whether it's the law firm or whether it's the brand directly, whoever, and type in their name and then type in like lawsuits, type in cases and see how successful they've been. If you look up the textbook law firm I've been speaking of, they have sued so many people successfully and they've gotten settlements successfully and they've banned hundreds of Amazon sellers. But if you look up like Voorhees, for example, I think Voorhees has actually been sued for false counterfeit claims. And I know one of my friends recently is pretty big in the community. You guys probably know him. I won't mention his name, but he was shut down for a few weeks. No one really knew it. And he actually almost went after the brand to sue them. So if you have legitimate invoices, you do have power and you shouldn't be as afraid when you get IP complaints in that situation.
If someone's right now sitting here going, 90,000 down to zero. This guy, like all these guys are telling us, like, I'm an Amazon seller, you were an Amazon seller, you're now building software for Amazon selling. If someone's like, no, I'm not going to do Amazon because, or they're questioning it, what advice would you have for them?
I'd say you're fine. Just, be extremely careful and don't set up multiple accounts. I used to advise set up multiple accounts, but now Amazon has proven so stupid that they just keep linking the accounts that I legally set up to each other, which actually might be the main reason why I'm still suspended. Is like I set up 3 accounts legally and now they're linking all these 3 accounts to each other. And it's like, I called you guys and asked permission. So don't do that. I mean, there's a lot of money to be had on Amazon, like a ton. Just play by the rules and, be safe. And also like, something I'm thinking about doing, like I don't want to chase too many different things, but I know all the products I was selling on Amazon, I can make a Shopify store and crush it. But that's like a several month project. It's going to take a lot of attention. I just don't think I want to do that right now. I actually do think I want to invite a Shopify person to Miami Sellers Conference though, because I feel like if you're doing probably like not online arbitrage, but if you're doing wholesale and you're having a lot of success, you could set up a Shopify store and sell all your products there. Just in the same way you can sell all your products in Walmart, you do the same thing on Shopify. And so I think there's a big opportunity there. Like if somebody's listening and they do want to diversify, sell on Amazon, but then also explore like other platforms like Walmart and even making your own Shopify store. Because your own Shopify store, you own 100%. And I know for a fact, I could build $1 million business with the current products that I was selling on Amazon with Shopify. But again, like I have other priorities, so I'm not sure if I'm going to focus on that.
It was interesting. I had someone join one of my coaching programs today. Just joined, like like $50 a month. I was like, "How long have you been? Have you been selling already?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been doing wholesale for 10 months." I was like, "How's that going?" I'm like, "Why are you doing OA?" And they're like, "Because every millionaire has 7 streams of income." I was like, while I don't know every millionaire, my understanding is that everyone will probably have 1 active stream and 6 passive.
Yeah.
But not 7 active, which is like trying to learn 7 languages at once. So like, don't do that. And if you're doing Shopify and wholesale and OA or whatever, just focus on one, get that really good before you start diversifying.
100%.
I think so. So Amazon selling is good. Still do it, a massive opportunity.
And I'll still be an Amazon seller probably for the next decade. I'm taking this as like a little pity party for me right now. If you guys want to help out, go to romertheromer.com/blog9. Read that whole thing. You'll get a full opinion on the case. And if you want, you can email an Amazon executive. We have his email at the bottom. They may or may not help, but I'll be back eventually. Like, let's be real. I plan on releasing a super in-depth YouTube video breaking down the best plan of actions, like the reality of account health, like all these different safety measures you can take. But I'm not going to release that video until I get my accounts back. And it might be a few months. It might be a few years. I don't know. Like I have a huge project I'm currently working on. And I can also make money selling to other Amazon sellers because my product is that good. So I can make less ROI just selling to other people. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. What was your question?
Well, no, you said obviously like selling on Amazon is still good. Still recommend it. Definitely play by the rules and never say don't do that. And also keep yourself updated on the rules. That's a really important thing.
Yes.
If you're unsure, speak to Amazon. Preferably record the call, maybe. Let them know you're recording so you've got evidence.
Yeah.
Getting access to the right information, knowledge, direction, and guidance is going to really support you. Now, if you are interested in taking your business to the next level from people who have already been there and built not one, but multiple 7-figure Amazon businesses in the UK and the USA, then do check out the Amazon FBA War Room. We have a really engaged community where you can ask questions. We have classroom material. You can do 0 to 10K in just 2 hours per day. Weekly live training, which is all recorded, and you can see all the previous recordings and watch them back since we started. We've also got fighting section 3s, and we do a weekly live Q&A session. You can watch them all back, see the handouts, get everything you need to know. And right now there is a free 7-day trial, and I'll drop a link down in the description. You can access this and get started scaling your business. Join us on the weekly live calls, get the information you need to scale.